Hey, it's Moses Moody with the Golden State Warriors. Now back to Steiny and Guru.
We need a starting two, Moses. Maybe.
Oh.
Might need one.
I don't want to do victory laps while Steiny's not here, but Evan, I rode for Moody. I drove that bus. You know, I didn't say he was a Jag or a superstar, but Moses Moody is a player, and he could play on a top-tier team.
He can.
And here we are now. Looks like this is going, regardless of what they do, hopefully it's not in another uniform. Moses Moody is going to be a big part of the Golden State Warriors.
Well, he isn't a benefactor of nepotism.
That, man, word of the day.
It is.
I love it.
I don't know. To me, I don't get the hoopla surrounding the draft lottery for the Warriors, them not getting a pick. I guess not knowing that they didn't have the pick. That might have been a different deal. But I think they dodged a bullet, Goo, because the pick that they didn't have, so what turned into the number 14 selection for the Portland Trail Blazers, is one that I think if you take a look at how they got to that point, is also why the Warriors might need to do something similar this offseason, which is packaging a pick to bring in something that can help you now, but also potentially in the future. For example, that pick that the Trailblazers got was attached to Andre Iguodala in 2019 when the Warriors used Kevin Durant as a sign-and-trade piece to the Brooklyn Nets to bring in D'Angelo Russell. They had to shed salary. Bob Myers sent that pick away with Andre Iguodala to the Memphis Grizzlies. That pick was then sent over to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics then sent that pick to the Blazers. But what that pick brought back for the Warriors was D'Angelo Russell, which eventually turned into Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga.
Man.
So that pick has done wonders for the Warriors. I know they don't have one this year, but in a way, I'm grateful for that pick because that pick helped you get a two-way player, a young, promising, up-and-coming piece, and most importantly, you're right, the 2022 championship.
Wow.
So
I feel a little better now.
Going down the road, that pick has done what it was supposed to do, and you can kiss it goodbye, and I'm glad it's not here.
All right. So you're not high on this draft at all?
No. I mean, again, I think we just talked about it. Like, LeBron James' kid is what people are going to be talking about. And in fact, actually, the more I think about it, I don't think anybody should draft Bronny. You know what? And if I was LeBron James, I would tell teams not to draft Bronny.
And here I go. Why, Evan? Why?
Because we will line up to bid on Bronny James as an undrafted free agent. That's what the James family should do. Don't draft him. As a second-round pick, you're locked into a certain deal. You can't make it. No. He's going to go undrafted. Everybody who wants him, a.k.a. who wants LeBron James, line up for his services and write a check.
Wow. I feel like that's going down now because his daddy can do whatever he wants. I don't think he's leaving L.A., but the Lakers know they don't want him to leave. And, Evan, he's going to be a future Laker. And all I'll say, so? I hate this part of me, because it's not against the kid. Goo loves the kids. I got 3. It's just, it must be nice. That's all, Evan.
So what? Be the greatest player potentially ever?
The son of the greatest player potentially ever.
Yeah, it must be.
With the 8th pick, the Hornets take LeBron James' dentist. Yeah, come on down.
Look,
he's that great.
Well, I don't have any kids, but I would imagine that's the goal, right? Is to be so good at whatever you do or to be successful in your own life that your children don't have to struggle.
No doubt. That's called legacy. My thing is, I don't ever want my kid to feel dirty in regard to everybody knows you weren't worthy of the throne we're getting. You know what I mean? It's so sacred and special for these guys to even be the last man on an NBA roster and to watch Bronny, his prerogative, and Bron's prerogative, to watch him get a jersey when you kind of know, Evan, that should have went to somebody else. But hey, I get it.
But that's for the public, though. I mean, I wouldn't feel bad if my kid got something, right? I mean, you want them to earn it, but at the same time, if I can help give them something, why wouldn't I?
In the regular world, I'm all with everything you're saying. I'm getting goosebumps. But, Evan, when we're talking about a spot on a team or a spot in a professional league, and we kind of know he's not a top-tier prospect, it's like they didn't do this for MJ, son, and they play college ball.
Yeah, but why is it different in sports?
Shout out
also,
Marcus.
Well, but if Michael Jordan had said, I'm playing and I want to play with my kids, someone might have been able to do that. Or might have wanted to do that. I just don't see the issue with it. I think that, and this is kind of a symbol of this draft, I think, is all the conversation is going to be about this kid. This is from the 415, the Xfinity Mobile text line. So much unwanted pressure and criticism for Bronny James. I kind of agree. I think people are coming down this kid's road unnecessarily. It's not his fault he's born into legacy, like you're talking about.
And I'm not, I know. Help me, Evan. I'm not mad at Bronny. I love the kid, but I hate what it looks like. That's all. And you know what I mean.
But so it was funny. This weekend, I had the chance to do a few broadcasts for Santa Clara baseball. Dude. And Dave Stewart, Smoke was kind enough to hop on with us, but he was talking before the game. He presented this award to one of the seniors on the team.
MVP?
No. It was actually kind of it's called the Cal Hope Courage Award. It was presented to this kid named Cole Kitchen for Santa Clara, who had gone through a lot of tragedy. His brother tragically passed away due to a fentanyl poisoning.
Oh, wow.
And that was something that he had to work through and has since 2022, and it happened. And so Smoke came in to present the award to him.
That's dope.
Talked to his family, also spoke to the team, but he spoke a lot about legacy. By the way, if you want to read about that story, I think it's in the Chronicle. Ron Korchak did a nice column on it. But Smoke was talking about legacy and how everything he did was to be remembered, it didn't matter. He wanted awards. He wanted championships. He's saying this
all
out
loud.
Of that.
Wow.
But it doesn't mean that you're arrogant. It doesn't mean that.
Not at all.
So to me, what LeBron James has done is create a legacy that his kid now can benefit from. And I can't be mad at either of them. I mean, that's the whole goal, right? Is to set yourself up and your family up for success.
Yeah. No. Oh, Evan, you well spoken, and shout out to the powers that be that came up with that award, because what you just described is real life. And for this young man to deal with that and still keep on is amazing. And shout out to Stu and everybody involved to even take time out of his day to go down there and talk to the youngsters. That's awesome. But it's all envy. And envy, I believe, Evan, is different than jealousy. It comes from a good place. So that's why I just put myself in Bron's shoes. I can't afford them. But I put myself in Bron's shoes, Evan, and thinking like, that must really be cool and lucky. But I was just looking at it from the other side. People that look at Bronny James or will look, and like Giannis's brother, do we really believe, I can't pronounce his name.
Thanasis? Or Alex? Which one?
Or Costas.
Yeah, Thanasis, the one that's on the...
Which one's the Lakers champ?
He wouldn't be on the Bucks team if he wasn't Giannis's brother. But we laugh at that. But this is going to be greater because I do believe what I've seen for Bronny, he's damn sure not ready, but your dad is so great and done so much good that you're going to be the byproduct of that greatness. When some could say, you know what, I don't think Sam Lubman should have got drafted. He's not good enough. And that's not shade at Sam. It's just the greater point is your dad can get you in any type of position in the world. Is all, Bronny for president. Like, where does this stop? Because your dad was so good at what he did.
But I guess I'm wondering, so Bronny would be taking a roster spot away from somebody if he's on a team.
That's all.
And that's what people don't like?
Yeah, well, that's how I look at it.
But if he really isn't worthy of that roster spot, you think he's just going to be, he's going to be a 10-year vet because of LeBron James?
Giannis's brother. He'll never leave unless Giannis leaves.
Yeah, but Giannis has been in the league for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I also don't think, I don't know. I mean, the last roster spot on an NBA team is... I feel like there's a lot of players that could have that spot.
Yeah.
Not just players that are familial or, benefactors of nepotism, but...
We're going to hear your great walk-off call because I was sipping with my brother-in-law, Obama, over the weekend on X, on Twitter, and I heard this call, and I said, that is my dude. He's a future star. We're about to hear it, but before you play it, Evan, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
You're going to be sought out after, and there's going to be, just imagine if you were the new Bob Costas, and whatever team got you, you said, I want my brother to be the third base coach. Like, you got that, and you're going to do that. And I get it. But your brother could be a great banking investor, and because they want you so bad, you can get your brother to be the third base coach. I'm not mad at your brother, but it just speaks to how great you are, Evan. And the team just kind of gave you your brother the scholarship. That's all, E.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't earn it.
Well, this is from the Xfinity Mobile text line. I kind of think it's a bad example, but Luke Walton wasn't qualified for anything that was in the league. Wasn't he like a two-time All-American in college?
And I'll fight them on that.
That guy was actually good.
Luke had some game to him.
Yeah, as opposed to...
He had minutes in finals games, too. It's not like he was a total
That's what I'm
scrub.
saying. Like,
he was
that's
a fine
bad
player.
comp to me. Luke earned that.
I think Bronny is the more interesting one because he averaged 4 points for a team that he couldn't really start for much.
When he was in high school or junior high, he was supposed to, we thought, like Jordan's son, you were thinking, okay, how strong are these genes? He's going to be the next. And it's crazy to even do that, and I hate to talk about it like that. But, Evan, I was intrigued when he was just, we seen this like Zion thing when we saw him first on the internet, and then, he paid off. He was a phenom. But Bronny, I love him. I wish I could do that for my kids.
Well, and I think in your own way you can. It's just not having the platform of obviously of a LeBron James, but also, for example, I think if one of your kids did want to do your job, you would be able to open the door for them. You would be able to present them with opportunities to then go earn it themselves. Just not at the level of an NBA roster spot, but it's different. I mean, to be more local, be at the radio, on the radio side of things. But if one of your kids wanted to become a sports talk radio host, I don't think, I wouldn't be looking at it like, oh, well, I guess, this guy's coming in and taking a spot away from somebody who studied journalism kind of deal.
Yeah, and I get that. How about this part real quick? We'll wrap this up.
Okay.
What if I tell you I'm scared for Bronny, and I already am, because guys like myself are nobody, but other people, heavyweights in the media, Evan, tell me if you kind of grasp this. He's got a target on his back because people feel like maybe he wouldn't have got to the NBA if it wasn't for his pops.
I think there's also a lot of players that we either don't think are going to become NBA stars that do, or players that should be NBA players that fall out of favor.
But some would have to go to Europe. Some would have to go, and earn that to get back to hopefully that point of hope where Bronny's going to get it just because you want my dad's services, and here I come +1. I love it, but I don't love it.
Let's see what Big Smooth in Oakland has to say about it. What's going on, Big Smooth? You're on with Evan and Guru on 95.7 The Game. How are you?
Hey, and I wasn't even gonna call, but man, this take on Bronny, I blame it all on LeBron, who probably is a proud papa like all of us.
Yes.
But listen, man, I can say this for certain. Bronny was not better than I was. I had a cup of coffee overseas.
Oh, boy.
No way in the world. No way in the world Bronny was better than me. I'm not, listen, man, I'm just telling the truth. We should be able to tell the truth.
Wow.
Bronny measured this morning at 6'1". Let's keep it real. Bronny is not a point guard. You watched him play. Bronny had the privilege of being on some of the best high school teams in the world. Bronny is not a point guard. In all fairness, once LeBron declared that he wanted to play with his son, he messed it up. It could have happened organically. But once he declared that, he put a target on his son's back, fair or unfair. That's what happened. I'm not going to not tell the truth. Yeah, nepotism happens all the time. It happens in church. It happens in the acting world, entertainment. We all know it. But you got to be good enough, man. You're going to take somebody's jersey from them, and you're going to take somebody's livelihood. And if it's close, Bronny is going to always be resented by not just the media, but by other players. You come in, you take my spot. Players know in that locker room who was better. See, that's the thing. The truth serum is in the locker room. Everybody in the locker room knows who shouldn't be there. And I'm sorry, but Bronny's going to have to wear the heavy. What do they say? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Hey, you want to put on that King James crown, and you're the son of King. Now, listen, his other son actually, ironic, his other son actually has a better shot.
No, we just talked about it. Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's not fair. He's 6'1". The kid is 6'1", man. He didn't get any of Bron's height, and he's not super skilled at a guard. How is this going to play out, man? How was it going to play
I
out?
agree, and a great call, Evan. It's not because I agree, but there was so much to that. And I like, Austin Rivers is catching hell because his father was the great Glenn Doc Rivers, and I've never had a problem with Austin Rivers. He gave you his all, but, you just watch his life in the NBA and watch him grow up and get out the game, Austin. And to this day, he's defending himself on, did I get here because of my own merit? That's all. And if this were Daryl Donovan or Milan, best believe, Evan, I'm doing everything times 10 that LeBron has done. But it is that when you're in that locker room and daddy is gone, did you really earn this jersey is my whole thing.
Perhaps, but okay, for Austin Rivers, by the way, do you think you have the heart to trade one of your kids? I think that's what Doc Rivers did. You
know what? I do because, you're still in the league and you're still blessed. And that's what I thought that was about. It wasn't, I'll see you on Christmas and I'll be you know what I mean? I'll trade you, Evan, but you ain't going to Mars. So I always felt like, what's really going on? You still are playing NBA basketball.
Would we think about this differently if this was canon? If this was Cannon Curry.
But if Cannon was the number one kid coming out doing Zion Williamson things on the internet and dropping 40 in a game, it would be totally different because he was worthy. That's all I feel like.
I'm saying if it was the same situation, I do think we would be more supportive because that's our guy.
Okay. You know what? Wow. You know what? I think I'd probably get. No, Evan, I don't even think Steph would want to or take. Like, Steph would know, I believe, that this is part of what's coming. And kudos to LeBron and his family because they obviously don't care. And Bryce is the youngest, Evan, who looks like he may have his dad's body. But, just my 2 cents. But it's getting too much run as if this is organic, like Big Smoothie said.
Well, and of course, I think it all comes back to what has been, noteworthy about this NBA draft. What about the lottery was noteworthy? Outside of the Warriors not getting a first-round pick, I'm glad they didn't. I don't think there's anybody in this draft that can come in and help them.
You said that.
And I think that pick has ran its course. Again, that pick is responsible for being a part of a 2022 NBA championship. I think the Warriors can look at their draft capital moving forward like that, not mortgaging all of it, but using specific picks, specific pieces to bring in things that can help you become competitive again. I don't know if there's a draft pick out there right now that's going to help the Warriors all of a sudden become a title team. But 5 years ago, that pick was used to dump salary, to bring in players that could help. I think the Warriors have future capital that they can use this offseason to bring in players that can help both now and in the future to get them back to where they need to be, which is in the playoffs.
Let's go. I'm with you. I hear you loud and clear. And what's funny about this draft, Evan, is I keep going to the 2021 quarterback draft, that class that we thought there was going to be a 30 for 30, and everybody looks like they failed. You never know, but what if we end up seeing, 5 years from now or 3 years from now, this class produce, 3 future Hall of Famers in the top 8. I'm, having fun here. But that's the beauty and essence of sports is we think we know, but we don't.
We don't. And I think that's what we're also learning about the NBA playoffs is we do not know because a lot of those series have been flipped on their head.
How would Evan getting that?
I didn't give up on Denver.
I'm looking at you and I'm thinking you didn't. But can you agree, meet me halfway? A lot of people did. Like, why would we give up on the defending champs after 2 games?
Because of what it looked like.
And, man.
Especially game 2.
At home.
They got dominated at home.
Good word.
Without the defensive player of the year on the floor. And maybe people are taking something away from Rudy Gobert, too.
Yeah, and he was there game 1.
But what I'm taking away from that series so far is that if a team has an ability to counter, if you have multiple ways to win, if you have pedigree, fused with some youth, fused with some versatility, you can be dangerous no matter how deep of a hole there is. And it makes it all the more important that you have to have a first-round series, that you have to have 7 games. You need to have multiple chances to bounce back because the Warriors, for example, have been, even in their championship years, they've trailed in series. They've lost game 1s.
Trailed Boston 1-0 and down 1-2.
And if that was a play-in game, they'd be done.
Yeah, right.
But that's not the way it works. It's best of 7. I think that's what's the great part about the NBA is the best teams tend to win because you got 2 weeks to prove yourself.
Man. And Evan, I've been watching, I don't know if the talk of inside the NBA going away or possibly going away. I don't know if it's affected how you watch. I'm watching last night and I'm getting sad. I'm seriously, nobody knew last night, Evan. I'm watching Barkley like, is this the last, how far are we going? Because once the final starts, they're done. But again, this is random out of left field. But with their uncertainty, their future, I'm watching like this was my Monday Night Football. You hit me with that one. But, we could be at the end of watching Ernie play off of Chuck and vice versa and Shaq and all that. So I'm watching with a heavy heart, and I say all that to say is the only time we've heard from the Warriors this playoff season was when Steph got his Clutch Player of the Year award, and it's just like it's still just weird that there's no Warriors at all. Nobody talking. Dre's been quiet on the set in regard to the podcast, and that's why I like hearing him talk. Evan, even if I disagree, Draymond, that is, because you do get a Warrior feel to what's going on in the playoffs.
But even that award, the Clutch Award, I don't think Curry cared about it. I don't think Curry really gave a damn about that.
Which are 100%.
And he might care, but I think he does care about the gold medal because it's something that he hasn't captured yet.
Boy.
But I don't want to open up that can of worms, dude. But I'm looking at the playoffs through the prism of the Warriors as maybe they aren't perhaps as far away as they think. From a championship, they are far away. But from the postseason, I don't know, man.
I'm buying. I give you that.
I really don't think they're that far.
Well, and that's why if you just allow me to do for the umpteenth time the Draymond not getting suspended, I'm okay. Because that means they would have qualified. They would have been a top 18 playing a 7-game series.
I mean, even the best team in the NBA, the Boston Celtics, is dropping games. Cleveland came out and shellacked them in game 2.
That was wow.
So
they bounced back.
And we're going to get another look at those teams tonight. But as we transition, I do want to get back into some baseball because we got, I think, the most electric arm in Major League Baseball. He's going to join us on the other side. His name is Mason Miller. This dude throws 104 miles per hour. He's thrown more pitches at 101 or north more than any team combined. This guy throws gasolina. And I want to talk to him about it on the other side, along with some of the pressure that comes with being naturally a member of the Oakland Athletics,
right?
Especially being good. I think there's a discussion to be had there. Also, we got news that Casey Schmidt, to stay along the baseball train, is going to join Willard and Dibbs coming up later on this afternoon.
Big hit, lad, man.
So we got baseball coming up on the other side. Evan Giddings in for Matt Steinmetz with Daryl the Guru Johnson. I got a couple of things written down, Gu, about the NFL. I think you and I are on the same page, and I want to let the listeners know why.
All right.
And so we're going to have that coming up as well. 888-957-9570 is also the number for the the Xfinity mobile text line. But coming up next, we're going to talk to Mason Miller of the Oakland Athletics. He's going to join us on the other side as we move forward here. That's what's coming up next in the game, presented by Fremont Bank. Full service banking, no compromises. And a reminder that segment is sponsored by the Alameda County